where the manager went off on one about date rape and how it wasn't a problem. Exactly.
Well, it might not be a problem for him.
It's alive! Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Welcome to Empire of Geek, and on this show this week we have the ever controversial Raoul. Oh,
What was
that wasn't Raoul, said Peekaboo. Raoul, how are you?
I'm fine, my friend. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Thanks for giving us your insight into how Hitler wasn't as bad as what everyone thought he was. That was very useful.
That's the synopsis.
Is that after
Hitler, not all that bad, in my opinion.
Is that after you've edited what I've said?
Well, no, you actually were saying that, but
I wasn't.
you Hitler
I
apologist.
was just saying that.
I knew you were kind of really, really right wing and all that, and I know you're going to argue in a minute that Socialist Workers' Party and all that. But I think we can all agree Hitler was right wing, wasn't he?
Yes. He was authoritarian, but I wouldn't say he was really right wing.
I think he was pretty much right wing about it. He was a fascist, complete fascist.
Fascism is kind of fascism. Fascism isn't actually all that right wing. It's very authoritarianism. It's all about.
He was very right wing, controlled. The state controls. Yeah, everything.
That's a socialist idea. The state controls everything.
No, but again, you have people in control as well. But also, both. That's why both of them can be quite similar in as well.
They have that horseshoe diagram, don't they, where they sort of come round back on each other.
I need to have a look at
They're
that.
both not very nice.
Neither's nice. But I wasn't saying that Adolf Hitler was worse than or less worse than. I was simply...
Well, I can, without having to retread the whole conversation,
yeah.
Let's all just agree Adolf Hitler was very, very bad.
I'd say it was worse than very bad. I'd say if there was
you did a minute ago, did you?
Well, no, I'm just saying that everything's relative, right? So...
No, it's not!
If Jimmy Savile raped me, right, I would want to kill Jimmy Savile before I wanted to kill Adolf Hitler.
Hitler's dead.
Well, I know he's dead, and so is Jimmy Savile. The point is...
I think I could credit you with the sense to admit that while what happened to you was terrible, and you personally feel it, you could understand that the attempted wiping out of a whole group of people, genocide, is worse.
I'm not disputing that. It is worse.
Well, there we go. That's me winning that argument.
But it's all relative. It's all relative insofar as who I would want to have my revenge on.
Anyway,
I would go after Jimmy Savile before I went after Adolf Hitler. if Jimmy Savile raped me.
But that doesn't answer the question.
So if you had the opportunity to time travel right now, you would go after
Who would you
Jimmy
go after
Savile
first? Because he touched you up.
Well, he didn't. But if he did...
Didn't you want to get a hand job off Rolf Harris?
No, I thought I was Ramsey.
Oh no, you said to him, can you tell what it is yet? And he went, I don't know, Rob. Is it your penis?
Anyway, time travel, Doctor Who, right, has had several opportunities in which he could have killed Hitler, but didn't, because it would have fucked everything up.
That still doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about, what we were talking about before.
Andy just asked, if you could go back in time...
I just said, who would you stop, Jimmy Savile?
Yeah, who? You can only stop one. You can only go back once and come back once, so who would you take out?
But the laws and the rules of time travel, so
who would
neither.
you? We don't know that for a fact. It's all bollocks time travel is anyway, so... But what would you...
But you don't... I mean, seriously, right, I go back in time...
I understand what a paradox is.
I bunk off
Who? You got to take out one of them.
Might have never met.
But so who would you take out? Jimmy Savile or Hitler?
You're saying you wouldn't change history?
You wouldn't. You'd let Jimmy Savile go on his spree of mayhem.
Logic
you
would
are
say...
a monster.
Logic would say...
You would just sit there.
You'd bunk off Adolf Hitler.
That if you kill Jimmy Savile, that then Dave Lee Travis becomes all the more powerful and is more evil.
The thing is, if you have the power to go back in time and bunk
Dave
off
Lee
Hitler,
Travis
you would just be like a time
never touched any kids, incidentally.
You'd just be a time-travelling assassin. So if you could go back in time anyway, you may as well bunk off Hitler and bunk off Jimmy Savile. But you never know. Like if you bunk off Hitler,
what is bunking off?
well, as in like
that's where you Skype off school for the day.
School, yeah.
As in like
I'm not nipping out of school with Hitler and Jimmy Savile for a day in town eating chips and smoking fags. That is not what I want to be doing. They'd be terrible friends to be skiving off school with. Anyway, Andy, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Thanks for keeping it nice and short. You had a good week.
Yeah, it's been alright. Yeah. You know.
Have you made any terrible comments? Mentioned Hitler at all?
Oh no, nothing like that. No, I don't tend to put my foot in my mouth as often as Raoul.
But then you probably would do if your shoes were made of pastry and filled with tasty meat.
Ginsters on the end of my legs. That would be a revelation.
Anyway, enough bullshit. Let's get on with this fucking show. So the first one to talk about is a new show which is starting tonight. Tonight being Sunday, the day we're recording it, and it's called Houdini and Doyle. It's going to be on ITV, and it stars Michael Weston and Stephen Mangan, which I've accidentally written as Stephen Mangina. I don't know why. It's a 10-part series. You can watch it on ITV or ITV Encore, and the basic premise. I'm bad as Robert. Premise of it is that Arthur Conan Doyle and Harry Houdini are chums, and they go on these comedy, slapstick, murder mystery adventures trying to solve murders and stuff. Some of them with a slightly supernatural feel to them, according to the official blurb. Does that whet your whistle, Mr. Andrew?
It's a bit far out, you know. And they just go on. They just solve murder mystery stuff.
Yes.
They don't go on murder mystery weekends or anything.
They do,
like
yeah. They go on a series of caravan holidays and then murder mystery weekends. It's a comedy though. It's not just serious. It's meant to be seen as a crime comedy type thing.
I think it'll work because you've got the greatest crime author, or be it a fictionalized version of the greatest crime author and the greatest magician that ever lived. So as a concept, those two...
Paul Daniels in it?
Yeah, well that's a bit of a... But we can't really like diss Daniels today.
He's ill, isn't he, at the moment?
He's very poorly.
Very ill.
Very poorly, yeah.
I won't be dissing him. He is a great magician.
He is a great magician.
Very underrated. Do you ever see his Halloween show where at the end of it they drop this spinning blade down on him? What's a spinning blade? And you don't know if he survived and they just cut and they never show you.
Yeah.
That was proper scary. He was pretty cutting edge sometimes, old Daniels was.
Revolutionary in many ways at its time, yeah.
Back to the point though. So
I think as a concept it should work. If they've made it comedy and put a bit of like harm, like humour into it, because it is going to be quite far fetched and a bit tongue in cheek. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I think yeah. And as a cop kind of buddy drama series, I think in that scenario it also works. Whereas you've got the Lucifer TV series,
which you hate, don't you?
Which I loathe, because that is like meant to be kind of a camp comedy buddy kind of cop drama thing, but they've just ruined the character completely.
Does it hurt more? Because listeners, we spoke about this. This is Lucifer, this TV show based on Neil Gaiman's character of Lucifer. We were looking forward to it. The original trailer, it's a Fox TV show, isn't it?
Yes.
Looked really good, didn't it?
It looked very slick. It looked like, okay, fair enough, he had black hair, but it did look very similar in terms of style and how he acted to the Lucifer of the comic books. Whereas what we've got is this kind of pantomime dame, and weak, crappy storylines, and it's just really boring. Whereas hopefully this Houdini thing will be a better...
I think there's a lot of scope in it. It's quite rich. The whole idea of having Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, and Houdini hanging as chums could be really well done.
Yeah.
It could, however, because I've not watched it yet.
It could be like Lucifer in a bag of shit.
It could be terrible.
Yeah.
It just depends how well they do it. I think it could be quite fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe we should have watched it before we give our opinion.
Well, no, it's not been shown yet. Well, we're talking about, are we excited for it? Now, next week, we will then talk about whether it brought home the bacon.
Or blows.
Or blows hard.
Yeah.
So, the next thing we're going to talk about very quickly is Captain America Civil War. They released another trailer this last week, which features Spider-Man in it. And some people kicked off about the fact that Spider-Man's eyes, the actual little white bits and his costume move. So when I saw that, I thought, what a load of shit. And then someone said to me, it's a Stark tech. He's built in this super kind of suit, which allows him to, his eyes to move. Why the fuck you would need him to move, I don't know. But what you've seen the trailer, what did you think of it, Raoul?
The trouble I find with a lot of the trailers of late is they're starting to almost spoil the films by giving just a little bit too much away. And I think it's probably giving a little bit too much away.
Well, if you know the comic, which not everyone will, to be honest, but you were asking me about whose side is Spider-Man on, and without wanting to give any spoilers away, in the comic book, I think it might be slightly different. In the comic book, this accident happens where this reality TV show team of superheroes take on these what seem to be low-grade supervillains, one of whom has the ability to cause massive explosions and basically blows up this big suburban area and kills loads of people. And so they call for some form of registration of them, of people with powers and all that. Now, Iron Man, Tony Stark is for it. Captain America, as a libertarian, is well against it.
Exactly, good old Captain America.
And that's what they... you are not a libertarian. And then they basically they split up over that. Now, Spider-Man begins on the side of Stark, believing that it's for the good, we've got to control people. And he, in the comic book, takes his mask off and reveals who he is. And then later he kind of switches sides a little bit and he actually begins to realise that it's actually wrong, that people deserve their freedom.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Should be allowed to hide. Should be allowed to protect themselves.
The only bit I don't like is there's a bit where, and I've seen it in the trailers, where it looks like they're on top of a multi-storey car park and you've got both sides running at each other as if to have a fight. I just think in a comic book that looks cool when you're drawing them all. And you have on one side of the comic book that Iron Man's team, and on the other side Captain America's. But in a film, if you think in reality, would you actually meet up if you're these high-tech superheroes to have a scrap in the car park? It's a little bit fight after a football match, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's very, with all the Captain America films and the Avenger films, none of them have been terrible. Some which have been better than others, but they've all been genuinely...
I'd like they've all been good.
They've all been...
I reckon this is going to be I may be right on this, the longest film so far. There's so much to put into it.
Yeah, it will be. It's a big story, but I think they'll pull it off because they consistently do.
Like Andy, you consistently pull it off. So, are you looking forward to it? You don't often go to the cinema, do you? Because you're a sociopath.
Are you kidding?
Would you go and see that film? Bit of politicking going into it?
Yeah, I am a bit sort of dubious of these big franchises, but...
Who are
James
you?
Is here.
It's like old cat face turned up. Now, from that from a big franchise onto potentially a new franchise starting up, Ghostbusters. A new Ghostbusters trailer came out recently, and there's been shitloads of arguing on the internet about it. So I'll tell you some of the arguments that have been going on. Argument number one is the obvious one. It's all these women. Some people don't like the fact that it's a bunch of women in a film which was originally a bunch of dudes. The second big argument is that you've got these three scientists in it, and then they hire, like in the originals, then they hire somebody else who knows the city and kind of is the common man. Now, it was Winston Zeddemore, played by Ernie Hudson, in the original film. This time, it's this black lady in this film, very similar to Winston Zeddemor's character, or Winston Zeddemore, the character. And the argument is, why couldn't the black lady have been one of the scientists? It's almost as if saying, white people smart, black people working in the subway, doing labouring jobs. That's one of the big arguments, saying, if they want to be all right on, why not, have her as one of the scientists and have Melissa McCarthy's character as the common woman.
I'd say that's probably because in the original, you had a black bloke in that role, so it was just lazy for them to put a black woman in that role. I don't think they probably read any more into it than that.
Well, you say that, but there's a picture recently on, I think I tweeted it on the Instagram, and they're making a big deal about girl power. and they showed a picture of all the women who worked on the film, and there was a photo of them stood with the actresses holding a banner saying "Girl Power," and then people looked at that and gone, "So you're talking about the fact that you're promoting equal rights and stuff like that? Well, why have just a picture with all the women on? Why not have all the people involved in the film?"
Yeah.
And secondly, then they said, "And why is the black person being the non-trained scientist, smart person? Why does it have to be? Why do they have to be? You say you're being all feministy, but then you're not supporting, equality."
It's like they're going 3/4 of the way.
That is one of the arguments. Yes.
There's probably some truth in that, or not truth. There's probably justification, I should say, in that argument. Why not go all the way? You've only gone so far. But at the same time, they're probably just thinking what's commercial, what will sell, what's easy. They've effectively taken the original Ghostbusters and just supplanted or replaced all the male roles, just switched them out for female.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can easily. I don't think it's strictly true to say, oh, they're being racist or genderist or whatever the word is. I think they just were being lazy and just switched.
I would agree with that in as much as if you look at the characters in it, you can see which one is supposed to be like the Peter Venkman character.
That's right.
Which one is the Egon?
And that's why I asked you: is it a reboot or a continuation? Because it looked like it was just a reboot of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. I thought it was going to be. I didn't like the idea of a reboot, whereas a continuation I'm completely fine with.
I like the idea of a continuation, but I don't really want a reboot, because to have a reboot is to say all that had gone before doesn't exist.
It's gone completely.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same reason with me. I have no problem with a female team.
Yeah.
The other big issue people have said is that the ghosts in it look shitter than the ones in the original films. They're all neon, and they look like something out of an Eddie Murphy style horror film type kind of romp.
From like Beetlejuicy type.
Well, not even. Well, there was one with the stripy trousers on, but
yeah,
I think people have said that they think that the original Ghostbusters film had scarier looking and probably more realistic, even though ghosts aren't real.
But I also think as well, I mean, you have to look at it of its time and when it was created and what visual effects were available, and also what would be considered scary. Looking at it now with 21st century eyes, there are many things that were done in the 80s which would receive like a 12 or a 15 certificate now, which back then were 18 or even required.
Well, wouldn't you assume then that the ghosts in it now would look more realistic? And this is what people are saying they're not. They don't look as realistic as the ones back in when the original came out.
You'd assume, but is that they don't look as realistic or as scary, or because our perception of what is to be scared?
It could, well, obviously as things go on, but I know for a fact, if you look at some of the scenes that I've seen in the trailer compared to the opening scene in Ghostbusters where the floating woman in the library turns around and screams, in my memory of that is still pretty good. I think that's probably scarier than some of the stuff that's been shown so far.
I would agree, but then when that happened, we were what, 8, 9?
I do watch Ghostbusters quite regularly.
Okay.
It's my favourite film. I think it's a lot of people's favourite film, which is why some people are kind of kicking off about this.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is kind of a... It's like if you ever pissed around with Star Wars, there are a few of our friends...
One does not piss around with Star Wars.
See what I mean? There would be civil war.
Well, they did piss around with Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. But
everybody kicked off about it, though, didn't they? I mean, to the point that there are many people who kind of just ignore the fact that those films ever existed. It's like they're just not part of the...
But I can forgive all them, because I like the Clone Wars. I don't give an Attack of the Clones, sorry. I don't care what people say about that one. I thought that Revenge of the Sith, I enjoyed that film. And also you got all the Clone Wars cartoons, which are brilliant from all that. So something good came of it, and I don't care if other hardcore Star Wars fans will disagree. Message in, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. If you want to, you douches. Some Star Wars is better than no Star Wars. And then people go, well, I'd rather not have any Star Wars or any new Ghostbusters because they're going to ruin it.
want to know if this Ghostbusters is going to be a continuation or reboot, though. I just hope it is a continuation.
I think it's continuation because it showed you the original firehouse where they were, and it did say at the beginning, 30 years ago, some scientists saved New York. So it's a continuation as far as I can see.
Well, if that's the case, then if it is a continuation, then they didn't need to make the characters so similar to the original, but just like female versions. They could have, gone anywhere. Paul
Feig, the guy's directing it, he has said that he actually wishes now that he'd switched around and he'd had Melissa McCarthy, who's one of the scientists, as the common lady brought in now. He wishes he'd switched it around, but they decided not to because she always plays that kind of role, and he wanted her to play more of a sciencey type, the Dan Aykroyd style character.
Yeah.
In it, so that'd be interesting. What I will say, people who keep complaining that the ghosts in the trailer look a bit too cartoony, let's not forget that at the end of the first Ghostbusters, a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walked through New York.
Yeah.
So, it was tongue in cheek as well. So
it's always been tongue in cheek.
So I'm going to go and watch it. I genuinely don't feel bad about there being a new Ghostbusters film. I want to see it. If it's terrible, I'll just forget I ever saw it and then wait for it to get rebooted again in a few more years.
Yeah, I want to see it, so I'll go see it with you.
Yeah, well, it's a date, a mandate. Right, the next thing I want to talk about is it's a feature I like to call Whoring My Own Crap. Now, as anyone worth a dime knows, we don't just talk about comic books and geeky stuff. We actually go out and we do it, don't we? We hang around with strange men who drive the cars too feckin' fast, playing Ingress.
Yeah, and then you do some trolling, don't you?
And then you do some trolling, yeah.
I met some dude in Nottingham, actually.
Oh, really? Continue.
He gave me loads of Ingress gear.
What did you have to do for it?
Suck
him off.
No, nothing. He just wanted me to come. He just gave me loads of.
Did he?
Come back here with all the weapons that he's given me and just clear all the green stuff out.
That's jolly good of him. This is a game, if you've not listened to the show before, called Ingress, which no one's going to play soon as the Pokemon game comes out. Location-based strategy game, and it's just played by sad geeks like me and the Rowlster. And within the game, there's a comm thing where you can chat to other people, and Raoul openly said that everyone else who was we're on the blue team, there's a blue and the green team, that we're all arseholes, so you called me an arsehole. That was noted. So I'm logging that in my memory banks, you shit, and that'll be used against you. But back to what I was talking about, whoring my own stuff. As well as doing that, I make comic books. In fact, my first comic book has just been released. It's available on Amazon now. And if you want to find out more about it, ladies and gents, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's a little bit nepotism.
It's actually quite good as well.
Quite.
Well, it is.
Very good. If you want to find out more, you want to see some of the first few pages of it, you can go to Facebook. So type in www.facebook.com/Midnight Butterfly Graphic Novel, and that will take you to a Facebook page where if you want to, you can look at it, you can leave a message, you can make fun of Raoul's pasty shoes, or you could even, if you want to, click on the link to go and buy it from Amazon. But
do my pasty shoes feature in the book?
Yes. The villain in it is called Pasty Shoes.
Oh, cool.
You don't really feature in it, no, not at all. But if people want to go on it and mention the show, I'm cool with that. It'd be good. We had loads of listeners last week, incidentally.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well, why?
I don't know.
Was it how many's loads? Like 200, 100, 10?
10 billion. The whole of China all just listen.
10 billion. If we had 10 billion listeners, we could actually get advertising. If we had 10 billion listeners and each listener was worth £1.
Unfortunately, we didn't get 10 billion listeners.
How many did we get?
20 billion listeners.
You're trying to money monopolise everything.
Yeah, everything. You're just as bad as old Catface Jamesy. And for new listeners, that's another one of our panel who isn't here tonight.
He's a posh boy. If you had 20 billion, we could just do this for fun.
We don't have 20 billion.
We do it for fun anyway.
I think we get several hundred. I don't always check it, so...
That is... Really?
Yeah.
That's actually quite impressive.
Yeah, well, I'd like to make it 1,000. You know, a nice round 1,000.
I honestly thought nobody would listen to this. I thought you had like 1 or 2, possibly 10 at a push.
No, we have.
Sell it. Right.
I thought it was your dad, your mum, your sister. That's 3.
This sounds like an insult coming on.
No, it's not an insult. No.
Most of my insults start like that.
I thought, so that's 3 people, possibly your brother, right? So that's 4 people.
Too busy. He's a scientist.
Right. A couple of people that we know of from Twitter and whatnot. That probably brings us up to 8.
I don't know if a lot of the people we chat to on Twitter actually will listen to it because they're probably too busy doing. Like Dan Butcher, who is a friend of the show, does he still listen? I imagine he's too busy because he does Vanguard comic. If you want to check it out, folks, very, very good. I don't even know if
he's also got his own podcast as well called The Awesome.
Yeah, I listen to it. It's quite nice, isn't it? Not as good as ours, but it's good. Unless you're listening, in which case it's just as good.
It's probably better, like curated, less random.
They sometimes talk shit like we do. I think they're more specific.
They're probably more on topic.
They don't. Well, yeah, because you keep talking about fucking Hitler all the time.
He's a bad man.
We know. Right, so that's if you want to have a look at it. It's called Midnight Butterfly. It's the first comic book released by Empire of Geek. There's going to be more. I'm working on something else new, listeners. So keep your eyes peeled. And I'm going to be releasing some little things to help promote it soon because I've not really released it virally. Andy, you're an expert on viral releases. Have you contacted those women yet, like you're supposed to?
So not fair.
Right, the next thing we're going to talk about is called Brighton's Graphic War. Now, I really like this story.
Oh.
What's happened is a group. This is group. It's called Queen Spark Books. They're a publishing group who they're like a community publisher, and they've got together with all these young folk from different schools and all that in Brighton to try and tell the story of the war in Brighton. And I don't think there was a war actually in Brighton. Yeah, it's on the seafront near the Honey Club and all that. It was the transvestites versus the... No, it wasn't. It was about the experiences during the war of different groups of people. So you'd get loads and loads of, I imagine, different stories based on real people's accounts of what they got up to in the war. So it's going to be like a community project where these kids who've been trained up by artists to produce their own comic book pages. It's to be put together. Let me read it to you. So the graphic novel explores the perspectives of young servicemen and young women and a young woman pretending to be a serviceman, as well as lives on the home front in Edwardian era Brighton and Hove, in the workhouse, shell-shocked conscripts returning home, and rationing on the domestic front. So it's going to eventually, hopefully, make a 170-page book called Brighton's Graphic War. And if they get the money, because it's on Kickstarter at the moment, it'll be published in the autumn, and there's going to be a planned book launch on November the 11th. They've got Chris Riddell, who's where is he? He's a really good illustrator. He is the current children's laureate or something like that.
Oh, was he the chap who's also an author as well?
Yeah, I've got some books by him. He's a really good illustrator. He's drawing the front cover for it.
Yeah.
I say he's got to draw the front cover, but I can't find it. There it is, yeah. He's offered to produce the front cover of Brighton's Graphic War. So, and they've also got these professional artists, Tim Pilcher and Paul Collicutt, who worked on a book called Brighton the Graphic Novel, who've mentored these 15 new talented young comic book artists, getting them involved with this. How cool would that be? You're in a school, you're into comic books.
Well, the laureate chap, forgotten his name.
Chris Riddell.
When he was appointed, one of the things he said he really wanted to do, if I recall correctly, was get children drawing more. So yeah, I mean that sounds ideal, and also it'll help educate them about what happened 60 odd. Was it 70 years ago?
I said World War II, didn't I? It's not. It's World War One.
World War One. Well, even so, I mean, it's still an important topic that shouldn't be forgotten. So
it is, and so the book's going to be sold for $12.99. And if you want to support that, you go on to Kickstarter, and it's called Brighton's Graphic War, a World War One graphic novel. I think it sounds pretty cool.
It does sound cool. Sounds very
so
cool.
I want to throw all of our 10 listeners and our support behind this particular book, Brighton's Graphic War. Check it out.
Kickstarter, yeah?
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Cool.
Now, the next thing I want to talk about is not so much kind of a comic-y or filmy thing, it's the terrifying fact that machines are going to take over and kill us all.
All the drone stuff.
No, this is to do with, have you seen that Alpha Go defeating Lee Sedol, one of the greatest Go players in the world?
Oh yeah, but
Was that the IBM machine?
That's Deep Blue.
That was that was with chess.
That was the
Yeah.
We've had it before, but the reason why this is important
Go is like there's something like 300 opening moves, aren't there, or something?
there are so many
Chinese
different
checkers,
ways
yeah.
that you can. Well, it's a game of territory goers. It's
Yeah.
where someone puts the white checker on a little stone, and someone puts a red one on. A black one, sorry, and you're trying to take control of more of the board. And there's so many different combinations you can do that they always said it would be impossible for a machine to actually work that out.
Well, I never thought it would be impossible for a machine to
Yeah,
work that
because
out.
surely a machine can calculate to beyond,
But the problem is, because there's so many different ways you can go.
Yeah, but it's
but
maths.
surely a human brain would struggle.
Well, the problem with this is that it's not just a case of it remembers all the possible moves. It learns from the guy it's playing against.
Yeah.
So with this Lee Sedol, and I'm going to paraphrase him here, he said that some of the moves it played in them, because they're playing 5 games, it's beaten him in 3, so it's won already. They're going to play the last 2 just to really grind his soul into the dirt. He said that some of the moves it played, he had never seen anyone play the game so beautifully. It was playing moves that countered something that he didn't even fully know he was yet going to play.
Right.
It worked out what he was going to do, and
Oh
it
my
could
God.
change its game.
AI.
Well, that's what it is. They reckon this is the
AI
development
is-
of.
Yeah, it's becoming really. The thing. I mean, lots of neuroscientists, for example, doubt that you and I, actually have free will, as in, biological organisms actually have free will. That we are.
That we have the illusion of.
Yeah, the illusion of free will, because we
pre-programmed.
we are effectively responding to certain external stimuli, but there are only a set number of predefined ways in which we, it's why some people might get more angry than others over certain things. And then, over the course of your life, the things that influence you affect your genetics and how your cells express certain things and do certain things. And so, really, you don't have a lot of choice, really.
I do believe that we do have free will, and I'll tell you how. I don't think a computer could judge what I did. I'm going to give you a situation today, and I bet a computer could work out what I did. I was putting up a railing to put the curtains, which you can see over the patio doors in front of you over there. The middle one, there's a fecking great big beam that support the lintels there, and I couldn't drill into it.
The metal.
What did I do when I couldn't drill into it for the 3rd time?
Swore.
What do you think I did?
What, when you can drill into the lintel?
Yes.
Stuck something on there.
What do you think the response would be?
Budget.
No, I went outside and hit myself in the leg with a hammer. Now, the reason I did that was, I was so mad, I went outside and we've got this old fireplace out there, so I thought, I'm so angry, I don't want to hit the thing I'm working on because it's not the best work
But
ever.
the fact that you were angry, but you were rational enough to think, "Ooh, I'm really angry, but I'm not going to hit this thing. I'm going to hit my leg with a hammer."
I didn't aim to hit my leg with a hammer.
It was an accident.
I aimed to hit the old fireplace that's on the patio.
You missed
Swung
the
for it, missed it completely, hit myself in the leg. And then I was going to cry out in pain, but I thought, if I cry out in pain, if someone comes and says, "What have you done?" and I go, hit myself in the leg with a hammer. Why? Because I was mad.
But
Sounds stupid.
neuroscientists would argue the reason why you are of the mindset to hit yourself in the leg with a hammer is because of all the other things that's happened to you in your life, which is
I was
programmed.
attacked by 3 fireplaces once when I was
But it's all these little things have programmed you to have that kind of response, whereas Andy's response would be quite different. I would imagine he wouldn't hit himself in the leg.
I think I'd go quite angry as well.
Would you hit yourself in the leg with a hammer?
I wouldn't hit myself in the leg with a hammer, but I'd want to smash something up.
I've got to say, if you ever do get hit with a hammer, sometimes you get hit in quite a fleshy part. It's not too bad. I did feel
you get
the
hit
bone.
I've still got your
yeah.
dad's lump hammer, actually.
He'd like it back.
Yeah, I need to get it back to him. Sorry about that.
I don't think it's all down to the kind of the chemistry inside. I think a lot of it is socially developed. Like, I don't nuts in the house, but you got
Yeah,
a kid.
but again, the social development stuff, that what's happening around you affects. You know, you can have two identical twins that got perfectly different personalities, but it's because they've had different things affect them, and therefore their cells behave. They're expressing. Ask your brother about it; he'll probably be able to.
What's this about?
If you're listening, Jimbo, what the fuck's Rob talking about? I get that. Different things will affect you.
Yeah,
but
so you know, you.
how much of it though is just learn and then affecting your biology, and how much is completely biology?
This is the idea. So you can have two identical twins, got the same biology, but the whatever the environment.
You always have one evil twin.
Yeah. So the environment.
Twins are always tested, aren't they? This is the real obsession in science, is testing twins.
Well, it's the perfect.
One
control.
of your heroes used to do a lot of work with twins, didn't he? Yeah, Joseph Mengele.
I just saw that thing because that guy's just come down from the International Space Station. He's been up there.
Twin brother.
About a year or so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's come back to Earth.
He's
again,
taller,
testing,
isn't he? Yeah.
Against his twin brother. To see,
Yeah, you grow a little bit taller, don't you? But get weaker in space.
Yeah, your muscles fall to bits basically in space.
That'd be horrible, wouldn't it? It's like you when you go on holiday for a week if you don't go to the gym.
My legs.
Oh, my arms are a little bit smaller.
It is, yeah. I go into microgravity.
But back to the point of what we're talking about. Now, the real worry supposedly is, whereas the machine which took on Gary Kasparov, whatever, and beat him at chess, that machine could hammer him at chess. If I played it at Cluedo, I'd destroy it because I'm fucking good at Cluedo. These machines, these supposed thinking machines, are only good at the specific game. They reckon that this AlphaGo could actually be good at other things like knitting and cookery, or actual other games. And that's the worry, the fact that you can have a machine that can then turn its genius at one thing, or program genius, to other things. And then it comes to the conclusion that the only way to protect us all is to kill us all. And that's the big worry.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a sci-fi.
One day, yeah.
You know that
we're all cool with that then.
No, but that idea of the robot will eventually decide that the only way to save us is to kill us. That's been in science fiction for, since science fiction began. It's just like
Well, we can
one
find
of the
out.
oldest ideas.
We could ask our friend Rick.
I've actually asked him if he does listen to the show. So I mentioned him the other day, I said he ought to come on, and I think you two would match up quite nicely, Raoul. You and
In what way?
in the I think you get on quite well, quite similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they're like two peas in a pod, them two.
Yeah. Anyway, well,
I'm not saying anything.
Hubba.
I'm going to have him on the show soon, so prepare for it. So we're going to play Ultimo Geek now. Now, stop tapping your wrist. You've got plenty of time.
This thing
Plenty of
just
time.
kicked off at 7:30.
What kicks off at 7:30?
What?
I rushed round here because I got told it was starting.
Oh,
I can't-
shut your cake! The amount of times I've got round here, I've been waiting an hour.
That is
2
true.
hours.
That is completely true.
Once.
No, several
Once.
times, because you've been.
The
fanging
show
about.
must go on. So we're going to play
Yeah.
Ultimo Geek. At the moment, Raoul, you are joint leader with Paul.
Oh shit! On it. What? How come? Do you come back and do another one or?
Oh no! Actually, on the podcast, you're joint leader.
Well, you'll pass him anyway because
if we actually
because we're never
include
going to see Paul again.
the filmed version, which I've not yet done anything with, as soon as that goes live, you'll be one ahead.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
So technically you're one ahead. So we're going to play a game. And this game is, I'm going to describe to you a situation and you need to tell me what the character did next.
What the character did next? Okay.
So this is question 1. Your job is to infiltrate Pandora's indigenous species, gain their trust and seek a way to convince them to leave their home or else destroy it. However, immersing yourself in native life has led to joining a clan, even falling in love with and marrying a native. Do you, 1, take the girl and run, 2, find an alternative source of unobtainium, 3, dissuade the military from pursuing their plan, or 4, rally the clans and fight back against them? So, take the girl and run, find a different source of unobtainium, dissuade the military from pursuing their plan.
What? We have
or
to guess
four.
what the film is, or
Well,
Why
it's
not?
obvious what the film is.
It's obvious
What did
what
the
the film
character
is.
do next? That's what I need you to tell me.
oh right.
Take the girl and run, find a new source of unobtainium, dissuade the military, or rally the clans and fight? So 1 to 4. I've got your answer. And you say, and Raoul, you are correct. It was rally the clans and fight. You just put another finger in.
But if you
in the quiz.
yeah, but if you
sense,
watch that film, he tries to dissuade the military. Then after they tell him to get lost, then he gets the clans and fights. So I was following the synchronised order.
No.
Oh,
So-
fucking hell! That's bullshit.
I'm going to say that normally I write the quizzes. I didn't write this one. I stole this one off. Because I did write a quiz
I'm
and then I lost
technically
it.
right, but I'm
Yeah,
being
you're wrong.
shafted.
You're wrong. You are literally being bent over and shafted.
Yeah,
I'm
So
not
was
doing
wrong.
the bending over. Just
What?
saying.
Who knows? You might have a chance to come back within this 10 questions. Whoever wrote this, by the way, well done them. Full credit to them. This is from it's from a website called funtrivia.com. The quiz I did write was quotes from films. Stop whinging, you little bitch.
But I was right.
But I can't find where I saved it, so we're going to do that next week. Well, if you want, we can stop this one now and do the Amiga quiz.
Oh,
No.
fucking
No.
hate it.
Okay then,
You
question
never
2.
want to do the Amiga quiz.
After a cure for cancer
That's
turns
fine.
humanity into a race of vampire-like mutants, an inexplicable immunity has left you, a scientist, among the planet's only survivors, possibly the last. Do you search for a cure? 2. Populate the city with clones? 3. Kill as many mutants as you can? Or 4. Look for the rumoured survivor colony? 1. Search for cure. 2. Populate city with clones. 3. Kill as many mutants as you can. 4. Look for the rumoured survivor colony. And Andy's correct. Search for a cure. 1-1.
Which film was it?
That is I Am Legend.
Just sweet some legend.
Oh, of course.
Or you could go with the Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, technically, I should be leaving.
Right. Question 3. When you were 8 years old, you saw your parents murdered as they were leaving a theatre early because you were frightened by the play.
Oh, who could it be?
They say play. It's actually the film Zorro. You've just correcting the quiz. You've lived with the guilt and anger for many years now. Do you, or where does your path start from that point? Help those in Gotham City who live in poverty. 2. Study to become a doctor like your father. 3. Train with Ducard and the League of Shadows. Or 4. Become an executioner for Ra's al Ghul. So, help Gotham City's poor. Train to be a doctor. Train with Ducard. Or 4. Become an executioner for Ra's al Ghul.
This when you're 8 years old, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, when he's 8 years old.
This is from the film Batman Begins. What does he do? What's his step to do? And Andy, you're in the lead. He trains with Ducard in the League of Shadows.
But he's 8 years old.
See, this is where I fell down last time. It's not. It just goes straight to the end.
Well, no,
Every
he ends
time.
up fighting them at the end. But
Well, yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
But there's a bit where he doesn't. He doesn't.
he doesn't help the poor. He just dicks around. But he's a miserable little shit, isn't he? And he gets a bit older and pisses off and leaves Michael Caine on his own. Where has Master Bruce gone?
Yeah, but I suppose. Yeah, I feel Andy's pain.
But I'll take the lead.
Question number 4. Your homeworld Romulus has just been destroyed and your family along with it. Sucked into the resulting black hole, your ship emerges some
Jesus.
150 years
I don't know.
in the past. And you're ready to exact justice on those who you deem responsible. Is your next thing to kill Captain James T. Kirk? 2. Overrun the Enterprise with tribbles? 3. Resequence your genes so you can time travel at will? Or 4. Wait 25 years and avenge your loss on Spock? I've got your answer.
Something about trivia.
So is it kill Captain James T. Kirk, overrun the Enterprise,
Raoul.
resequence, and Raoul, you are correct. It's wait 25 years and avenge your loss on Spock.
Well, I don't know any Star Trek, so.
Well, you should start watching it.
Well,
Question 5. There's still a long way to go. Level pegging. Your ride in the Funvi is cut short when your convoy visiting Afghanistan is attacked, and by your own company's weapons to boot. The 10 Rings gang who holds you captive insists that you build your latest weapon of terror, the Jericho missile, for them. Do you wield your innate superpowers, 2. Fake your death. 3. Dig an escape tunnel. Or 4. Construct a metal power suit. And you're both correct. It's from Iron Man, construct a metal battle suit. Oh, all to play for still. Question 6. You, only a teenager, and a little girl named Star have survived alone in Los Angeles, California, in a post-apocalyptic world dominated by Terminators. You rescue a man named Marcus who fixes your radio. What news do you hear over the radio and immediately act upon? Is it 1. Terminators have begun to assimilate humans. 3. Alien visitors have come to save the world. Did I say 3 then?
Yeah, I was like...
3. I can't count. No. 2. Alien visitors have come to save the world. 3. John Connor is contacting all resistance cells and survivors. Or 4. Skynet has been hacked and given the laws of robotics. So 1. Terminators assimilating folks. 2. Alien visitors. 3. John Connor bringing the resistance cells together. Or 4. Skynet has been hacked. What's that? Is that and a half?
No.
Okay, I've got your answer. What do you think it is? And you're both correct. It is John Connor. You're a college student, this is question 7, with a head for science. And ever since that incident with a spider on a high school field trip, you've been the hero of New York City. However, being a hero doesn't put money in the bank. How do you make a living? 1. Take over the family corporation. 2. Write articles for a local newspaper. 3. Sell photographs of yourself in action. Or 4. Use Spidey sense to win the lottery.
So what were the options?
Take over the family corporation. Write articles for a local newspaper. Take photos of yourself in action. Or 4. Use your Spidey sense to win the lottery. And you are both correct. Oh, this is going down to the wire. Plagued with visions of your wife dying in childbirth, your best friend at her side, you are determined to do whatever it takes to save her from this fate. You cannot live without her. Do you? Kill your best friend Obi-Wan Kenobi. 2. Keep Jar Jar away and hire an Ewok midwife. 3. Convince yourself that the dreams will pass. Or 4. Go to the dark side and get more power. And you're both correct. Go to the dark side. 2 more questions left. You've been told you are among the few survivors of a deadly pandemic, and you live for the day you'll win the lottery and join the other winners on Earth's last safe haven. But the horrible truth of your existence has just come out. What course of action do you choose? Is it 1. Find the person to whom you are an insurance policy. 2. Try and get to the island uncontaminated. 3. Start a rebellion among the few clones. Or 4. Rig the lottery so that you and your girlfriend will win. So, go find the person that you're an insurance policy for. 2. Get to the island uncontaminated. 3. Start rebellion. Or 4. Rig the lottery. And you're both correct. Find the person you're the insurance policy for.
What film is this?
It's on the island.
I thought it was, but I wasn't quite.
Yes.
I wasn't quite sure.
Johansson.
Right, this is it then. This is the one where some of you might stumble on, because you're visiting New York City with 2 of your friends to participate in an academic decathlon. Just when Earth's new ice age decides to form. Thankfully, since your father was a climatologist, you have some idea of what to do. Do you escape when you're in the storm's eye? 2. Catch the first plane out of the city. 3. Leave the city on foot. Or 4. Stay in the library with a fire. So 1. Escape in the storm's eye. 2. Catch a plane out of the city. 3. Leave the city on foot. Or 4. Stay in the library with fire. And you are both correct. Oh, it's a dead heat. Do we go for a tiebreaker question? Okay then. So let me find a quick tiebreaker question for you both. This is the closest it's ever been.
Yeah, because it's not ridiculous trivia like.
It's never ridiculous trivia.
What's the spaceship of in one episode 15?
I have never asked any questions.
Yeah, they are ridiculously.
Right, whoever can answer this question first.
Oh.
We'll get the answer. We'll win the quiz. Who played Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show? The actor who played
Tim Rice.
No.
Dr. Frankfurter.
That's the character's name. I tell you what, he almost gave it away then. If you just change the second name,
Oh, don't tell him that! We're still trying to look.
Tim.
something that goes with rice.
Custard.
Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, but I was passing it over to him.
Yes!
So-
What?
I took it.
What? I said Tim Curry! He didn't say...
Yes.
Oh, you twat!
And I will
No!
bow out.
How did that work? How did
Passed
that
it
work?
over. I passed it over.
What?
Yeah.
So...
You got one guess.
But he took... I said Tim Curry and he repeated what I said. He wasn't there. He had the fake, gauntlet, stupid look on his face and I don't have a clue.
Slag me off, that's alright.
But you didn't have a clue.
Rob, I've just won the quiz, so...
You...
Fair's fair, isn't it? Yeah.
Where's the hammer?
Anyway, well done.
Cheers, thanks.
So,
Oh, come on. That's unfair. Because I got it... But how?
I
Oh,
don't know how he does it, but he just pulls
it's like the time. It's like that time when you said all or nothing. When it takes all. I didn't agree to this, but you just decided amongst yourselves, and he won.
Yeah, but
Even
maybe
though
if
he
you...
was like a million miles behind me, and then, oh bloody hell!
You're still level pegging. In fact, you're slightly ahead as soon as I put the filmed version up.
I know, but I was ahead, properly ahead. That slightly ahead is not. Oh, what?
Well, you know further further behind than you were before because you won ahead of everyone technically.
I feel robbed.
I thought Paul was one ahead.
No,
No, he's dead in the water.
He's one
now.
behind. As soon as we put the video version up with Raoul and his mask up, then he will be one ahead of everyone. But yeah, you are leading at the moment, Raoul. Right, I just want to talk about the comic of the week, which is a cracking little book by
Sally Jane Thompson.
Sally Jane Thompson, and it's called, what's it called?
From.
And what it is it's a collection of almost like sketchbook style pages, but they tell a story. It's almost like a diary,
Kind of like a memoir-y, travel-y
travel log, memoir.
journal.
You're reading off the
type
back of the book, aren't you? Where she
thing.
describes it.
Well, she describes in the book as a South African sketchbook, journal, travelogue, memoir, comic thing.
And it is all those things.
Yes.
So, and I really liked it. I bought it off her at Comic Con, and I really liked the look of it. I looked through it, and I'm terrible. I buy lots of stuff, so I limited myself. I said to Lisa, my other half, that I'm gonna look through everything and then come back before I decide to buy anything. But that never happens, folks, if you go to conventions. And I looked at this one and instantaneously I really liked it because as you go through this, she draws in so many different ways, doesn't she? Some of them are quite sketchy,
but
still really good. Other ones are more kind of traditional comic book.
It shows a varied drawing style, huge range of styles. There's pencil sketching, there's ink, pen and ink, all sorts of things in here.
So many different ways. Now, if you want to find out more about her, go to www.sallyjanethompson, all one word, .co.uk. She also has a web page for her comic book, which is called, let me just find the flaming thing. It's called From, and that is, it's comics.sallyjanethompson.co.uk.
And it's www.fromcomic.com, all one word.
Yeah, if you go to that one. She hasn't updated that though since, I think it was August last year. I think she probably will get round to it again. But it's just really nice and interesting. I like it. So if you're interested in what she kind of does and you like the kind of comic diary, it's a really nice book.
You know what it reminds me of? There are a few biographical and biographical books done by Raymond Briggs.
Yeah.
It's got a very, very, just beautifully written, beautifully illustrated.
It doesn't look like his stuff, but
No, it doesn't look like it. But that kind of, you get like it feels you can appreciate the effort and the work that's gone into it, and it's got that kind of substantial, heavyweight, proper kind of.
Yeah. Well,
it's hard to. Yeah.
Well, some of them are quite simple. The drawings she does, but just sort of like kind of ink, painted brush and ink, and other ones that are kind of quite nicely sketched out.
You can tell it's a very personal book, and it's from the heart, and it's, you know...
Yeah, the same as the last week we talked about the book then. That was... They've drawn very differently, but personal, and that's the best. That's why I like the British kind of indie comic scene, because you do get these more personal things. These aren't superhero comic books. It's real life, baby, and it's good. I like it. So that's my comic of the week. Check it out. So either go to our website or go and check out free comic
from comic. It's
free. The free from comic. She's an illustrator one. She also I think you can hire her to go and talk to you if you're interested in, if you're a school or an organisation. She does some education and stuff based around comic books. So check her out. But yeah, really nice book, really nice lady. I loved it when I looked at it. And if you go to her website, you can see some of the other different things, mini comics and a thing called Atomic Sheep that she's done. And you can buy art prints off her as well. So check that out. Yeah, Sally Jane Thompson. That's our comic of the week. And finally, con of the week. I just want to remind you all again that I'm going to, and hopefully you'll come along as well, Raoul and Andy, although he's not going to want to. We're going to go to the Yorkshire Geek Fest at Elscar.
When's this on?
That is in July the 8th. I'll have to check that out.
Cool. I'm off to a hacking convention next weekend.
Well, that won't interfere with it. So, but before that, but we're going to be there. And we'll talk about them more on the show and stuff like that. I'll be selling Midnight Butterfly there, and if I get the new thing I'm working on done, I probably won't. I'll be selling that as well. My new secret project. But anyway, Edinburgh Comic Con is that's what I want to talk about. It's going to be going on the 2nd and 3rd of April. I can't go because it's my brother's birthday, and it's also my son's birthday party on that day. So I can't make it, but it's at the Exchange, 150 Morrison Street, Edinburgh, and there's some cracking stuff going on there. They've got some, and I actually went on their website to have a look at it. It just looks really cool, some of the events that they're going on. They've got loads of cool guests. They've got these the cinema. You can go and watch kind of geeky films they're at. So what they've got is prop displays from lots of different science fiction films and fantasy films, large vehicles with photo opportunities like an X-Wing and stuff like that. They've got the United Kingdom Colonial Marines. They're an aliens reenactment type group.
Oh, cool.
They're dressed up. So that looks cool. And they might have the odd alien with them as well. There's going to be the Hero Legion, who I guess dress up like heroes. And there's the Scottish-based chapter of Starfleet is going to be the USS Alba, as well as a gaming area and stuff like that. And there's an after party as well, if you want to go to it. Never been to a convention after party. Maybe if there's one at Yorkshire Geeks Fest, we could go to that. Will there be one? Someone tell me. But that'd be nice. But now we're going to start going to conventions. Then we will certainly. I'm trying to get me and old Catface. He wants to work on something. I get it done in time for.
With old Catface.
Yeah. Well, you ought to be involved as well, Raoul. You can draw.
Well, I'm not very good.
You are. You're better than you say. But we've got to work something all of us together. Not Andy, obviously, because his talent is. But, no, you could get involved. What would you do, Andy? You could draw, get some crayons.
You can write stuff.
Yeah. You're really good at writing.
No.
You could sit there and go on your phone chatting to birds on Tinder.
I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not creative in that sense. I'm creative in other senses.
How else are you creative?
What sense?
Yeah. How else are you creative?
Just in a professional sense.
We went to this comedy show recently, and the comedian was on about that mate of yours. He says, your mate who just stands near girls and thinks something's going to happen. And I was like, and I turned to Andy to nudge him, and then Andy's friend sat on the other side. He also turned. He was at the same time to nudge him.
I was livid. I was absolutely livid.
Did the comedian make anything of it?
No, we were sat right near the back.
Which comedy club's this then? The
Red Herring in Lincoln at the Drill Hall.
A mate of mine runs that, but I've never actually been to it.
It's a really good night. Yeah.
A very good night. Very good.
When's
night.
it on? What days?
Once a month.
Once a month here, roughly. Yeah. Once a month.
What, Thursdays or Fridays?
Won't we, Steve?
What day?
It's what day is it normally on?
I think the next one's a Saturday as well.
Yeah,
So
it's the
you know.
12th.
Well, let me know because I'd quite like to come along. If you're going, that is. Let me know if you're going.
I will. We'll let you know. Yeah.
The thing is, when we text you about doing something, you just ignore us.
You never text me about doing stuff. Steve does.
I text you about
Steve-
I'm town.
Obviously, because it's a podcast, no one could have seen the death stare I gave Andy over there about his ignoring. Listeners, he has this habit of, I don't know if I mentioned it before, you message him, he sees a notification and he ignores it for days sometimes.
Weeks, months.
Weeks. Before then going, oh, I've got your message, I didn't see it. And we all know he does this with notifications. And he used to say, oh, my phone don't get notifications. I've now got the same phone and it gets notifications, the lying shit. Well, that's pretty much the end of the show, but I just want to just ask the listeners if they want to get involved with something. This is called Tag Andy. Now what you do is, you track down Andy, and I don't want to say a second name to let people track him down.
Track me down.
What you do is, you tag yourself in the most inappropriate place on Facebook.
Oh,
with
is this
Andy.
not the gum clinic thing?
Yeah, so I tagged him in at the gum clinic.
You're not even on
Andy, yeah.
Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook, but that girl that I'm going out with is, and she.
Like, can we get? Oh right.
Yeah. She said that said that has Andy got like VD or something? I said, well, why? She said, well, Steve has tagged him
Why
in
do
at the
people
gum
think
clinic.
it's literal?
So what I did was I tagged him in, first of all, tagged him at the Gala Bingo. I said, he's been going mad. And then I tagged him at the art gallery, saying that, just two hetero guys hanging around the art gallery at night. And then the third one was, we've had to go to the gum clinic because someone poked Andy in his Botticelli. I have got another one for next Friday. So, listeners, every Friday you got to track Andy down.
Then after that, he tagged me in an all-male sauna in like Brighton or something.
I've got some new ones for next
Don't you
Friday.
have to physically be there to tag?
I thought you did,
course
but
you
no,
do.
no, you don't. This is right down the bottom of England, and I got a message off Jamesy saying, "Oh, Catface going, what are you doing down there?"
Everyone seems to think it's true. Someone's asking me in the gym today about it. Saying,
Where's this all-male
What are
sauna?
we doing in Gala Bingo? And I was like, I've been bingoing in my life. I said, even put there, it's probably...
I like how the people at your gym find a man your age going to a Gala Bingo more strange than an all-men sauna.
Well, that's what the gym is.
Yeah, so that's what you got to start doing. Every Friday, I do it.
Does tag attacks me?
I play the game from a roundabout. It begins at 9 o'clock on a Friday and continues till just after midnight. So if any of you want to track Andy down, if you message me privately, I'll give you his address and everything.
Fuck off.
And that's the game. So yeah, tag Andy. It's a new thing. Also, the other thing before we finish as well, because being a geek sometimes it can be tough to keep yourself in prime physical condition. We've decided that Raoul, who you've wanted to get back into training, so you get doing those one-handed press
I've got
ups.
this Fitbit thing, right? And
He's got a watch, so he's losing loads of weight.
yeah, well, I've done
No idea.
16,809 steps today.
This
You
week.
saw me the other day, actually, didn't you? When I was coming back from, you offered to give me a lift home.
I did, yes.
But I said no, and I carried on walking. That was 5
Anyway,
miles.
we're gonna weigh you now, and then every week, listeners, we'll weigh Raoul.
I've
And,
lost 1.5 stone since I started doing
and
this.
if he, so you started off on 23 stone, didn't you?
I was 23.13 or something.
So if you'll weigh himself now
bear in mind,
live,
I'm naked when I do this at home. So
you're naked now.
for the benefit of the podcast?
I'm ignoring your acorn penis. Just get on with it. So you're standing on it, ladies and gents, and it's a speak your weight one. One at a time, please.
Does it really? Speak your weight.
And it's 22 stone 6 at the moment. So next week we will weigh you again.
22 stone 6.
So that's what. So you've lost. Obviously, it's the end. It's quite late at night while we're recording
I've eaten
this.
quite a lot as well. So
You ate a horse.
I had three Krispy Kreme donuts today.
How are you possibly going to keep?
No, because my basal metabolic rate is.
Oh.
I'm allowed.
We'll talk
I'm
about
allowed
that.
3,800 calories a day, and I can still lose weight.
Piss off.
For real.
Anyway, that's the end of the show. On those lies.
No, I'll show you.
We'll
I'll
also
show you.
you can show me your phone that says
No,
I'm allowed to eat.
It's the Fitbit
3,000.
thing. With all the exercise I've been doing, it works out for you.
Anyway, so it's goodbye from me, Steve. Andy, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye from Raoul.
Bye.
And goodbye from me. Goodbye.
That was ghastly.